G'day YouTube people. Today we're going to go to Kings Park in Perth and have a look at two bike projects that are currently underway. And if you're wondering if there's light at the end of the tunnel when it comes to sustainable transport or active transport, I think the answer over here is probably yes. Now it's been a couple of months since I rode around this way, and I popped out of that tunnel yesterday, and what did I find? A brand new piece of red concrete path. Had no idea this was going to be constructed. This was a total surprise. And I had no idea how far this was going to take me, what works were underway, why they were building it, all that kind of stuff. It was just, oh, look at this, big surprise. Nice surprise, because this used to be quite a narrow, rough path that ran along here. It was just a footpath. So you can see there's some, reasonably extensive works going on here, and the path is obviously going to extend further up the side of the road here. And at this point, I had no idea how far it was going to go. I mean, what was the extent of the project? Now that red line kind of around the left and across the top, that's where we're going to ride. And after I got home, I had a look and found, yes, there's in fact a Winthrop Avenue shared path project as part of this Perth CBD enhancement thing. Yes, Kings Park is counted as part of the Perth CBD. And when I did a little bit more digging, I found there's this greater CBD transport plan, which I'll be covering at some later date because it's really quite interesting. So this is the old path that's been here for ages, and it's a shared path that obviously runs inside the park. And it's not a great path for riding on because it's narrow, you get a lot of pedestrians on it. And a couple of years ago, they built a pedestrian bridge across that busy road there to get to the kids' hospital, so that if you're a family and you've got kids in the hospital and you want to get them out for a bit of sunshine and fresh air, you can cross this bridge here, this very colourful thing, and walk into the park. Now, obviously, you don't want fast-moving commuter cyclists zooming along a narrow path when you've got kids in wheelchairs and things like that. So building a completely separated path for cyclists is an excellent idea, I've got to say. Because I've ridden along that path through Kings Park, or inside Kings Park plenty of times, and yeah, the potential for conflict with pedestrians is huge. Now, I really had no idea how far that new path construction was going to go, so I rode up to here, ducked off to see was there any construction along here, and no sign of it. So yeah, I'm kind of a little bit mystified why they would build it along one section but not all the way along. I mean, I guess maybe it's money or something. But what I did do is I fired up my decibel meter while I was riding along here, just to see how what the difference in noise levels was between riding near the road and inside the park. Now, actually, when you're inside the park, somewhere between 10 and 50 metres from the road, it's really quiet and all you can hear is the birds chirping away, as you can probably hear here. But as you get closer to the road, obviously road noise takes over. So, my preference would be a path that's, I'd say, inland in the bush, where you've got like the trees and bush can act as a filter to keep out the road noise and all the other stuff. Now, interestingly, the plan says at this point they're going to maintain the existing crossing, whatever that is, and this section in grey is going to be a shared zone. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but all this stuff off to the left here is supposed to be shared zone, whatever that is. Whether they mean the path here or the road itself, I have no idea. So look, I had to kind of take to the bush here to find the next section of path, and obviously this bit here is a separate project. And as you can see, they're putting, well, it's early days yet. All they've essentially done is scraped off the top layer. They haven't put down the crushed limestone stuff that they use as a base layer over here. Now, a little bit further on, this is heading towards what used to be called the Sticky Beaks Cafe. And again, you can see the path is quite narrow, and you get a lot of commuter cyclists zooming through the park in the morning and afternoon, which is, ripe for conflict with people who are also walking with headphones on and that kind of thing. So, separated path, brilliant idea. Here it is a little bit further on. You can see just what a swath they've cut through the shrubbery here, And they've had to bend the path quite a bit to avoid knocking down any of the mature trees. So it's going to be a really nice ride through there, I think, kind of bending back and forth a little bit as you go through the trees. And I think it's also far enough away from the road that it's not going to be terribly noisy. Now, again, you can see a narrow section of old path along here. And over on the left there, you can see some kind of orange flags. That's where the path is actually going to run. And I guess this path here will be kept for pedestrians. And here there seem to be a lot of drainage works going on that dug up quite a bit of stuff here. Trenches and things like that. So they might be moving pipes or whatever. Now, what I was wondering, you can see there that the cut continues off to the right. But I was wondering what they're going to do when they get to the very end here, where you kind of pop out of Kings Park at the top of Malcolm Street, how they were going to handle the taking traffic into town. And I've got to say, having looked at the plan, which isn't terribly detailed, I'm still a bit mystified as exactly what they're going to do. So, as we come along here, there's a bus shelter, and on the plan it says that there's going to be an uncontrolled pedestrian and cyclist crossing kind of behind that bus shelter to link up with the path on the other side. But, this is not a detailed plan showing exactly where they're going to run it. It was all very high level. I wrote down here because I thought the path would pop out from the right here where they've got that fencing, and then they would somehow continue on to the left there and get to the exit of Kings Park, but it appears that's not going to be the case. They're not going to be digging up over to the right there, I guess. They're going to be sending the traffic over the road. How they do that, I have no idea. Because what you do get is a lot of people cycling, scootering, segwaying along here, and when they get to the top of Malcolm Street, they stay on the footpath because it's this massively wide path, and they just cruise slowly down the hill rather than getting out there in the lanes of traffic where you've got lots of cars zooming up and down the hill. So it'll be interesting to see how this pans out over the next few months as the build continues. Winthrop Avenue, we'll see how that goes. Kings Park Road shared path, yep, all good. Might even see if I can ride along these things on the weekend when there's no work underway. But yeah, good to see there's more path construction going on.